Captain Caveman!
Hey! Welcome back. It's Saturday. It's time for some Jiu-Jitsu. We got our jammies on. We're ready to go. We're going to do some self-defense today. What do you think about that, Forrest?
I think that's good.
Show. That's your stuff for the show. Jeez. We got to work on our show.
If you like this content, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. If you like this content and you think more people should see it, then subscribing and liking will help get us out there. We have a goal to hit 1,000 subscribers. So when you subscribe, not only do you help us to your goal, but you help more people to find us and get to our goal.
We want to thank Mickey Gaskins. He's the last person that signed up for our YouTube channel, and we appreciate that, Mickey. No joke. All right, we're going to get into it. First self-defense technique we're going to do is we're going to do the side headlock, like when someone comes up to give you the noogie or the nice good choke headlock right there. Okay? So first thing we're going to do, we're going to show you how to get rid of that headlock. All right? So Forrest's going to grab me up. Oh, he got me in a headlock. Maybe he's choking me, right? So
If he's choking me, then that's no good. This is called a bulldog headlock.
this is called a bulldog headlock, so you can actually hear me. When Forrest chokes me, the first thing I need to do is right away I address a choke. So I get my hand right on his wrist. Go ahead, keep on. So when I get to pull as hard as you can. When I get my hand on the wrist, I can start to fight the technique a little bit, all right? He's still got a little bit of a squeeze, so the next thing I got to do is I got to get my posture right. So I'm just going to hop my legs in and get my head up. Now I can breathe. By bringing my head back, that's putting a lot of strain on Forrest's shoulder and his grip right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the hand that's free right now. I'm going to take and push on his head. This is going to help me break down this grip, and it's also going to put his weight down towards the mat. When his weight starts to go down towards the mat, I'm going to reach down in between his legs, pick Forrest up, put him down on the mat. Boom. All right, pretty easy technique. Remember, protect your neck first. Second thing we're going to do, we're going to get up nice and tall. Third thing we do is we take our arm and push our opponent's head towards the ground. Then we pick up the leg and finish, okay? I know what you guys are asking in your head right now. You're like, what if I'm doing it to Forrest and he can't pick me up? Well, if you cannot pick your opponent up, we can do a slight modification of it by just running our opponent to the mat, picking their leg up, pushing their head down, and pushing them down towards the mat, okay? Forrest is going to demonstrate that right now. Grab Forrest in the good old headlock. Stop. So when you do it, it's going to be inside. You're going to reach your hand inside. Pick that, yeah, like that. And run me to the mat without putting me through the window. All right, so I'm going to put Forrest in the headlock. We came all the way over here so that we won't go through the window because first attempt, Forrest almost put my head through the window. Yeah! Good defense. Yeah. All right. Good. Good finish. Forrest almost put me into the fireplace poker, but I didn't quite go into it. But that's the technique we want. Remember, what makes the opponent go down is that we're pushing their head away. Okay? So when Forrest gets his belt tied, I'll show you what I mean. If I just have Forrest's leg and not a lot of pressure, he's just going to hop with me, right? When I have his head controlled, it makes him fall down towards the mat. So this motion right here is what gets the match down to the floor, all right? Second self-defense technique, and one I see all the time now that UFC is popular, is right away someone comes up and they guillotine us, all right? Guillotine can be a pretty devastating technique. Maybe we'll show that guillotine next class, all right? But for now, we're just going to show the defense to it, okay? So Forrest is going to wrap his arm around my head, maybe from this view so they can see what's going on, and the guillotine, all right? Right now, I'm not in a very good place. So first thing you can lock it up. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fight the hands. I'm going to control the hands. This time I'm going to base and tripod my head up just like I did last time. Boom, my head comes straight up. My hand is going to come up over the top. Still fighting his hands right here. Whatever side he's choking on, I'm going to grab up and over the other side. So he's choking on this side. This hand is going to come up and over and grab his cloth material. If he doesn't have any cloth, I can just bite down really hard with my arm, but he's got a gi on so I can grab the cloth. Now, I'm going to step to wherever my arm is. My arm is on this side, so I'm going to step around towards this side. See how my leg comes behind Forrest? We do something called the stanky leg. I call it stanky leg. I'm going to have a little bit of a stanky leg. I'm going to put my knee down here and then trip Forrest down to the mat. One more time in frame of the camera. Forrest is going to hand me right here. I'm defending. Come in. Stanky leg. Right down to the front. I step to the other side, the side that my arm is over, so I do not land in his guard. If I land in his guard with this technique, Forrest is going to be able to finish the technique by squeezing and using his legs to finish the squeeze. By stepping around him, right here, I clear his legs. Once I clear his legs, he can't put me in guard anymore. He's not going to be able to finish the choke if I'm across his body. All right, I can just be calm and breathe and relax and get myself out. We'll actually show getting it out too. When we're on the mat, here, Forrest is here, hang on to it all the way through. Trip Forrest on the mat. Boom, I'm in side control. Forrest is still hanging on to my head right here. He's got a pretty decent choke. All I'm going to do is I'm going to take my forearm, I'm going to push it right down on Forrest's face and posture myself up. All right? That is going to break Forrest's hold on my head and make him not look happy. Look at his face. And he's hiding his face. He looked like he did not like that at all. Forrest is going to try it one time. I'm going to hang on to Forrest because I'm a big mean bully. Ah! Step this way. Always step to the side to grab over. Yes, good, Forrest. Oh. Ah! That was the worst stanky leg ever. I'm out the back door. So when you go, you're going to stay tight to the body and then feel that? Bump with my knee over the top. All right? Once you do it correctly one time. Ah! Yeah. Step around. Yeah! Good. Look, you felt right in side control too. That one was much better. You knocked my legs right out. That's why I fell on you like that. Forrest was like, whoa, what happened? You knocked all my weight from out underneath me. Alright, we're back. And now we're going to go to one of the more difficult ones. This might be a little bit difficult if your parent is much bigger than you. But it is what it is. If you have a brother or sister, you can try it a few times. What we're going to do now is we're going to do haymaker defense to a hip throw. Alright? So the first part of it is we need to defend the haymaker. So we're going to switch spots. Forrest is going to throw his right hand, and I'm going to block it. So as Forrest goes to throw his hand, my hand comes out like a knife, and I'm going to block him right there, right at his bicep. I want to make sure that I'm doing a really good job of blocking it by bringing his arm up. Boom. Control the space, and now I have it blocked. One thing about any kind of combat situation, you always want to have your hands up. We talk about Muay Thai class all the time, but in real life, maybe you gotta be fake a yawn or be like, yo, I don't want no problems. Whatever you need to do, but you always want to have your hands up in front of you. And if you do it like this, it's gonna be pretty threatening, all right? You don't want to be like, let's go fight. You want to be like, oh, whoa, whoa, we don't want to fight, like open hands. If your hands are open, they're still in the way, all right? You can still fight here. So this is a really good thing to do. But, I mean, you can always just put your hands up, stay away, I don't want any problems, or, yo, look, let's just calm down. But always have your hands up and ready to go in any kind of situation where you feel like there's a chance you might get punched or it might turn into a physical altercation. We always want to try and use our words first to stop anything from happening. But the second thing we want to do is we want to make sure that we're protected, all right? The last thing we should be thinking about is trying to hurt our opponent. First, we worry about stopping the fight. Second, we worry about protecting ourselves. Third, we're going to worry about controlling our opponent, okay? If we're at the point where we're actually thinking about hitting someone, we might be the aggressor in the situation, so we might need to take a step or two back. Just realize, why are we so angry? What's going on, okay? Sometimes people get in our face and we're going to need to respond to it, but sometimes it's just our anger coming up and we need to control our emotions at all times, anytime we're fighting, okay? Anyways, back to the technique. Forrest is going to throw that haymaker defense. I'm going to block just like I did last time. I'm going to step to something called the bully position. So all I'm going to do right now is I'm going to step from being straight with Forrest to coming around Forrest, having him in between my legs. I'm going to hug his waist, put his head right in his chest. Right now, Forrest is going to have a really hard time hitting me with anything, and I can control him pretty well. Can't really push me around. We're in a pretty safe spot, okay? One more time from a different angle. Forrest is going to throw the haymaker. Boom, I stop. I'm going to step my back leg around so he is in between my two legs. Boom. My hand comes to his waist or his belt if he's got a belt. This hand is going to bring his arm to his body, and my head is going to go right in his chest. The only thing he can really hit me with right now, you can try and shoulder block if you want to put him down on the mat. You can try and maybe get some looping punches with it right here, but now I can start to control him as well. Okay, the only thing we're vulnerable to is those little punches right here, those little rabbit punches. They don't feel good, but they're a lot better than getting hit, and we're going to be able to control that position pretty well. All right. The next part of this is the actual throw itself, okay? If you don't have mats, be very, very careful with your partner. All right, one more time. Forrest's going to throw that punch. Boom, I'm going to block. Step to bully position. Boom. When I go from bully position, my back leg is going to step right in between Forrest's legs. So it's going to come out and in between Forrest's legs. My butt should be coming towards him. My other foot is going to come back inside his legs. I need to get my belt lower than Forrest's belt and attach him to my hip pocket. All right, one more time. Boom. Throws a punch. Step. Back foot comes through in between his feet. Other foot comes inside. I'm going to lift. Once I have Forrest up, I should be able to control him without even really using my hands. I'm going to take 2 steps. 1, 2. And I'm going to deposit Forrest back down into the mat. When I get Forrest on the mat, I like to control the sleeve here, and I put my knee on his belly. I call this the anti-bully position. All right? One more time. Change the camera angle so you can see our feet a little bit. Throws the punch. I block the punch. I step. Boom, my feet are outside. My foot is going to step in between his feet. Don't step past his foot. It feels like it's right, but it's not going to be very right. I'm not very stable here. So when I step in, I'm going to step in between his feet. My other foot's going to come inside too. My hip's going to get lower than his. I lift. 2 steps. 1, 2. Put Forrest down on the mat gently. Control the wrist. Anti-bully position. Without Forrest, it's going to be here. Boom. Step to bully position. This leg is going to step in between his feet. The other foot comes in and my hips bend. I gotta bend my hips to get underneath Forrest's belt level. Forrest is gonna give this a try now. So I'm gonna throw my right hand. Boom, he blocks. Steps around, lifts. Ah!
Okay.
Yeah, I'm fine. Why did you stop?
I don't know. Something can feel it, I guess.
Alright, so right here we go. Punch, boom, blocks, steps in, comes in, picks me up. 2 steps, 1, 2, deposit me on the mat. All the way up, yeah. Yeah, good, nice controlled bully position. You can take armbar here. You can take armbar here. Tap. He can punch, or we can just maintain our pressure. If we're in a real life situation and we throw the person, we don't want to whip them down and smash their head into the mat, okay? So one thing that's going to help with that, when we throw, we're going to pull the wrist in. I'm going to show that real quick too. One more detail for the throw. Forrest going to throw his right hand. Pop, I block it. Step in, boom. Step through, lift him up, boom. When I take my 2 steps, now I go to throw him. I'm going to control his elbow. I'm going to pull this towards me as I'm rotating him through, so I don't drop him on his head. Now I can drop my knee right on his chest and hold that position right here. Wait for the teachers or police or somebody to come and break up the fight. That's what we got for today. 3 solid techniques. We have our headlock defense, we have our guillotine defense, and we have our punch block defense for the haymaker punch. Maybe not the most exciting class, But this is all stuff that can help you every day in real life. What do you think about today's class, Forrest?
I think they're really good techniques. I think they're good to know to make sure you're staying safe. Although hopefully you're not fighting anybody, because hopefully you're not outside.
Someday we will be going back to seeing people again, so it's important to know all this stuff. I just want to say one thing. Forrest tested for all this stuff to become a gray belt, and he hasn't used it in a while, so he looks a little rusty on it, okay? So all these techniques that we show you for self-defense, they all work, but they're not going to work unless you train them at least 1, 2, 3 times a week, okay? So if you're doing anything for self-defense, whether you're a parent watching this and you do something for yourself, or you're a kid, if you don't practice this stuff when you need to use it, it's not going to be there, okay? So every day, maybe, or every week, maybe drill this like 10, 15 times. Just so it's smooth and it looks good and you can use it when you really need it, okay? If you're in a fight, you're going to want to be able to have it. In a fight situation, you can remember about 10% of what you know, but your body's going to remember about 70% of what you know. So if your body's used to doing this motion over and over again, it will react when you're under stress. All right? Even if your mind is not working, your body will work. That's all I got for today. Got anything else?
Remember, don't use these to start the fight. You should only be using these to end a fight.
All right.
And also, if you're at home, don't hurt each other. Make sure you're being as careful as possible.
What class do you want to teach next week?
Could do another Thai class.
All right. Monday, Forrest is going to be teaching Muay Thai. Tomorrow, I have some kind of integrity workout or some kind of game plan for integrity. All right. See you guys tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. I don't know. We need an ending. If you guys got a good idea for an ending, shoot it to us. Caveman out. Us.